Hey guys, my name is Citiac and welcome back to another episode of FarmTown here in City Skylines 2, where we're now flying over the brand new town that we built in the last episode. And I can't believe how much progress we actually did last episode. Now, I asked you guys in the comment section down below to give me a really good name suggestion for the town, and I've picked one, and I thought it's perfect because I did say whatever we name the town is what also the university is going to be called. And I've got some pretty good ones right now, boys, but one of them really stood out more than all the others. And before we jump into this, I just want to say, if you are enjoying the series and want to see more, then make sure you smash that like button down below. If you are new around here, then make sure you do subscribe so you get notified when more episodes do come out. And today, apart from naming the town, slightly expanding it and growing it and all that jazz, we're going to run a train line because we currently have a loop going around. But I'm going to run a train line from this side going through our new town up to Rosedale Village and out of the region, as we need more region connectivity on the go for the train lines. And I also want to sort out, I want to build the next variation of this junction. I want to build the next variation of this junction because they're the two junctions. They do have issues, but they don't get backlogged, but they're the ones that have the most pressure. So we're going to increase the capacity on those two junctions and see what goes down. Now, the town. It's all low density, which is what I really like about it. And with that, we have a total of 5,563 residents, which, when you compare the town size to something like Sierra Valley, that's got 6,000. So that's got like 10 times the amount of people, but this one definitely bigger in more surface space. Anyway, I'm stalling right now. After all those suggestions and comments, guys, I really do appreciate it, but one stood out the most, and it was from Anna B. And she says, how about calling it Newton? Which is a play on the words of new town. Get it? New town. And for your boy Isaac Newton, because obviously we can name the university Newton University. You see where this is going? I thought that was pretty good because I think because I said whatever the town's going to be called is what the university is going to be called. So calling it Newton, I think, is perfect. The university right now will be renamed to the Newton University. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. We can also rename the train station as well to the Newton train station, baby. Oh, yeah. So I really do appreciate that, Anna, and I really do appreciate everybody who did drop those comments in the last episode. You guys are really helping me shape how this region is slowly coming together. So, the town's looking pretty good right now. We do have the problem with the lack of high-skilled labor again. Now, that is slowly coming back because right now we're placing so many jobs that we now actually have unemployment down to 0.1. So we do now need to start thinking about getting more residents moving in. So I now have the freedom, the ability to kind of build a little bit of a higher density. So places like Sierra Valley, we can kind of slightly bulk up a little bit. So we'll first start with this then. We'll get some row houses in to begin with. So if I go there and there and there, that will build all those in. And I'll just go completely crazy and let them expand all of this and spend all of that medium density demand right now. And I'll do the same thing all the way up to here. So that will get some nice larger houses in. Increase the population ever so slightly and also not ruin the skyline too much. They should be slightly smaller than these, hopefully. But these should have larger gardens because of the sizing of them. Now, over here, we do have a little bit of a gap available, but there's still stuff we've got to kind of get in. And we are starting to creep up right now with a little bit of industrial and office demand. Now, I did say I wanted to build an kind of like an extension of an industrial area, which I want to save it for over here. But we do have a little bit of office demand we can also throw in as well. So we go for some smaller offices. We can kind of fill this little area up if they so choose to spend that demand. Now, they probably will spend all the demand right now. I don't think I've got enough demand for what I'm actually trying to squeeze in. So that would be kind of interesting to see where that goes. And I don't think I've got the demand right now to build any more. So that's probably as much as you're going to get. Right, that's pretty sweet. So, train lines. Let's talk about train lines next. Now, currently, when it comes to train lines, we have two train routes. We have this one, our original one, which goes from this side of the region here all the way up, stops in Sierra Valley, stops in the industrial area in FarmTown, stops in the main station for FarmTown, then goes back outside the region. Now, last episode, we implemented our train loop. A lot of you guys are like, you know, umming and ahhing about whether I should do a counterclockwise and a clockwise. For now, we're just going to keep it as it is and see what demand comes from it. But we have a train line that then goes from Newton to Sierra Valley to the 2 stations in FarmTown. Then it comes all the way round to Rosedale Village and then back down again. Now that loop will eventually connect to lots of additional villages that we will eventually place in. But we have this connection over here which we're not utilising, which goes to Kip. Now, I want to kind of create a line for Kip, and I've got a couple of options. I can make it kind of go from Kip, and obviously it's going to go into Newton, but then the next option then is I can make it go directly out of the region. Or I make it do a turn here to go through Rosedale Village. Is it Rosedale Village or Valley? Yeah, Rosedale Village, sorry. Up here and then back out. So it's able to connect to one more station along its run, and to all the other little kind of villages that we will eventually get all connected up as well. I just think we just need more outer region connectivity. So passenger train line, we'll start there, and we'll come into here then to make sure we get this all on the right sides. Bam, to there, going all the way around, which will bend round here, up and over the bridge, which will get it to stop and make sure we get on all on the correct sides that we want. And then that will lead all the way out right now. So, bam, and then it comes all the way back, and we do the exact same thing again, but obviously on the opposite side of the tracks. So to you, all the way down, and to here, and then back out to complete that route. Now, that's probably going to throw like a ton of trains on, which I'm not about that life right now. It wants 6. So I'm going to... Oh, okay. I can only do a minimum of 3 because of the sheer distance in length it's got to travel. Now, do I have enough trains to come out of my rail yard for that? I do. I do. But if I build any more train lines, I'm going to need to build an additional rail yard. So I need to remember that. I do need to remember that right now. But other than that, things are going pretty smoothly right now. Now, we do have a couple of signature buildings we could place down. Do any of these make sense for Newton? So, this could work out. So, this is the film actor's mansion. Now, that can work out fairly well. So, I might squeeze this in just here. Yes, the film actor's mansion, boys. Actually, I might... Can I reposition it? No. Let me replace that back in. I'm going to... I mean, I can't really centralize it, but I might just kind of place it here and then put nothing around it as if he lives on his own. But I could have repositioned it. What am I talking about? What am I talking about right now? So that's beautiful then. That gives us a little bit of additional kind of experience points. Now, the Polaris Suites, is that way too big for this area? See, that could have fit within this area, but I feel like I've kind of now got rid of a lot of the larger demand buildings or larger kind of size buildings. That I don't think it will kind of fit in within that vicinity unless I placed it like somewhere here to delete this area. So if I place that there, do you know what? That actually fits in perfect. That's great. Now that building itself does provide 180 households. So that will kind of slightly increase our population ever so slightly. I don't know what do these buildings do? Do they take... What is it classed as? It's hard to tell what it's classed as. It takes... I think it takes high density is what it does. I think that's what it does. Now, do we have any commercial? We do. We have a food station. Which, to be honest with you, I could use this as like an additional to our streamlined diner, but pull it in a different area. Like, for example, I could do it on the road from Newton to Sierra Valley. I could implement the kind of food station, which is almost treated like a service station, or I could do it on the road coming over here and place it down there. I feel like over here would be a better idea. Near the train tracks would be pretty good. So let's throw that in, and we need to get the alley style road first. So I need like a snap to come off. So if I just come off here by 2, and then just go this way underneath. So if I went off to about there. Now, that building, the train line is kind of at an angle, but if I threw that in there right now, it's almost like a service station, a roadside diner, but it also has... What is it? It's a room for all hungry customers under one roof. Is it multiple food businesses or is it one food business? Your company add here. I mean, someone's got to rent it out first, haven't they? Is that how it works? Yeah. So let's make it attractive as we possibly can then. And let's obviously get this connected. So let's do a complex curve. 24 down 24. Okay, we'll go 32. Why not? 24 down 34. It's all those numbers are off there, but it still does the same job. It still does the same job. Now, we do need to bring water over here and power. So let's just quickly sort that out then. So if I upgrade this road going all the way down to here, that should bring at least some power down. Might as well bring that all the way down to there as well. So that should now have the power. It just should be lacking the water and sewage, which is a line just there. So I might as well just connect it off this all the way in. And then that should give us exactly what we need, right? That building should no longer complain. Nice. I like the idea of being near the train line. I kind of like that idea of it. I really do. I really do. And it's in this little kind of a little ditch as well. So, yeah, they'll love this. Does that seem really steep? It kind of does, doesn't it? Right, perfect. Okay, sweet, sweet, sweet. So the only other signature buildings we've got remaining right now are the big, like, factory stuff. But I'm still in two minds whether to kind of place those in. Now, we've got to breathe. I feel like I need to sneeze at the same time. But I'm going to build the next iteration, variation of this junction. Now, I did say when I built this originally that it's going to continually change as we progress. And this is the next stage for it to now officially change. Now, when I built this over here, it kind of opened my eyes slightly to these little slip roads and slingshots that we could create. Granted that this is not doing justice right now because obviously it needs to go across and there's just too many vehicles and that needs to be upgraded as well. But this one seems to be a big issue and so does this one. It backlogs quite often, but it does clear itself. But I'm hoping I can kind of increase the flow a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm first going to take these farms and we're going to push these back a little bit so I've got a little bit of space to work with. Why can't I get rid of you? Invalid shape? What do you mean invalid shape? Fool. Right, if I just delete to there. No, actually, let me go back to here. Let me get rid of you to there. I might just push that back as well. And let me just delete a little bit of that road because I'm going to need the space to maneuver. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to default it back to what it originally was. And then we'll go off that. So if I put all you in. If I actually get rid of the roundabout. And then we make all this default to what it originally was. No issues, no problemos. And then we'll kind of build it from there. So what I would like is, I would like each of them to have a slingshot road for turning right. So if you're turning right, you can just slingshot yourself on each section. So anybody entering this junction, turning right, hasn't got to go near it. And it's completely fine. No issues, no problems. We should be all good. We should be all good. So let me try and build that then. Now, I don't know whether to do it like this, where we bulk it up a little bit further back. So if I was to do that, we would have to kind of push this out to there. Now, that doesn't go in to a free laner on that kind of degree. Now, this one I'm going to have to kind of build it myself, but let's see right now. Let's see, a little bit of a higher capacity run. So bringing this down to there, and how far should we take it for the bend? Obviously, every bend is going to be slightly different. Now, is that far back enough? I don't think it is. So if I kind of just build out to here, just so I can kind of then upgrade you to a single lane, to delete you, because I can push that back a little bit further, no problems. and then come off of this here. So if I went down to... I think because of the angle of it, it makes it look a little bit more weirder than what it actually is. Because it's so long, it's not like this where it's a short... It's the angle of the degree. It's a longer degree angle than that. You guys know what I'm trying to say, right? You know what I'm trying to say, right? So I might push that back a little bit further in general. Now this one will be a sharp one. This one's going to be a sharp one right now. So if I went to there... Now the logic would be that we also bulk this up into a 3-lane road, well, into a 4-lane road at that point, to kind of counteract the extra lane. But I want to see how the traffic navigates this first. This is becoming quite a big junction. It really is. So let me push this a little bit further back right now. I want to move this down. And I want to upgrade that 3-lane to about there. So they got a little bit more time to get into their lane, like they do on this side. And then this one, I might bring the 3-lane from the junction. Yeah. So I've just got to build this then. And this is a little bit of a tricky one. It really is. But I reckon I could maybe bring it from there if it all works out and goes to plan. So awkwardly, that is the clipping noise, or the clip in it. And that's going to slingshot quite dramatically to this direction. But it does also hit where I don't want it to hit. So if I bring it up there instead, it's kind of causing a little bit of an issue for that road there. So if I'm able to kind of just quickly do that to upgrade that strip there, just to get past that junction, because I feel like it's maybe causing a slight issue. Wait, I can't delete that? In what world can I not delete that? Is that straight? Right. That was really weird, wasn't it? Why? I think I might have to delete this bend and replace it back in just to get it to work how I want it to work. Interesting. Very interesting. So bringing you up now. And then running it up like that. No issues. So I'm hoping I don't have any issues now with this. Now this is going to be a little bit different in general, isn't it? I don't think I can go the full shebang and then bend it. Oh, I can. But I think it might look a little bit weird. Right, so the angle would be like that if I was doing the same angle. But I don't think I'm going to do it like that. So if I went like this, I can slingshot that. You can see where the original road went round, so that's maybe a little bit of a better slingy shotty. It makes me want to kind of do this a little bit better now, because now I've just realised what's potentially possible. Can we just slightly upgrade this back? Yeah, and take it from there. Let's just see what we get out of this. Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? The design is quite now interesting. But it will put a lot of pressure on this still for people wanting to crissy-crossy all over the apple saucy on that side. But now we just have to give them a little bit of time to kind of maneuver this new run, this new system. But I want to see what happens here. So when they join on, how does that affect and change the vehicle situation? Now we have to wait until a lot of vehicle traffic is cleared. And we also need to say to this that they can't do the right turn. So no one on this can do a right turn, and that's what makes them utilize the slingshots, as I'm calling them. It's what will make them utilize the slingshots. Now, once this traffic departs, it's only backlogged right now because I changed big junctions. I want to see what comes from it, on how we can then incorporate something different here. Because it could just be simple roundabout. It could be bulking it up into 2 lanes. So you got a straight on lane and a left turn lane just to ease the traffic through. There's a bunch of possibilities you could pretty much do from this. There really is. It just depends on how much kind of problems it does throw on. So we definitely got to stop and start. I could just throw a roundabout down and be done with it, but I like to experiment. I do like to experiment. So if I implemented you like that, because I've got a straight lane and a right turn lane. Left turn lane, sorry. Straight lane and left turn lane. Straight lane and left turn lane. Straight lane and left turn lane. Let's see how this unwinds itself now. Because even this might be a little bit confusing. But it could mean that I could have multiple vehicles then exit and leave the junction. But I could also then throw a roundabout down here and it will be a little bit bulkier because there's 2 lanes on each side of the road. So let's just see how this kind of unravels itself first. As then I will figure out what is going down. But I think ultimately it kind of kills off the 2 lanes. So if I was able to throw a roundabout down, but this is going to be the problem right now. I don't think it's possible because we're slightly staggered unless we go for a larger size. So if I went for that, is that classed as a large? It's classed as a large here, this roundabout. Now they all have their own dedicated turning lanes at this point. But it does allow them to make the right turn, which is what I don't want them to do. Now, that's the only problem with the roundabout. Is they're able to make a right turn. And that's not what I want. I wanted those 2 lanes to be separate. Now, it kind of works on some of them, but the way, because it's all kind of off staggered, it doesn't really work out that well. And it then just slows the traffic down to a standstill. It does then just slow the traffic down to a standstill. Now, my other option is maybe making one of these go down as an underpass and popping up, and one's an overpass and popping up. But if I did that, we then got the issue with how does the vehicle traffic then connect to it? Like up above and down below. Because they need to then be able to make the left turn. Because I could do it. It's not a problem. If you're coming down this way, you've got your right turn set. But if that goes up and over, how do you do that type of connection? You know what I mean? How do we then make the left turn is the big issue. So I could, in reality, either make a slip off this with a connection junction. I could, you know, if I want to make a left turn here, I can do underpasses that come off, sweep round, but that's then building a big interchange that we technically do not need. But I'll be interested to see what happens when the traffic does disappear when we're a little bit more free-flowy. But I don't think we're going to get that. Now, I could drop traffic lights in. But is that even more of a bigger pain? I could make it where it's a roundabout here, but we have overpassing roads for straight over. There's lots of ways you can kind of go about doing it. Now, I'm going to wait for this to clear, because I have made a huge issue and a huge problem. So, once these guys have got the green light to skedoodle through, we'll kind of start clearing some more of the backlog. I'll be really, really interested to see what happens when it's a bit more clear and how quickly the backlog does kind of then build up. But I kind of want to apply the same logic to this almost. But to fix that, you've kind of... I wouldn't say you got to fix this, but... you know, you got to be able to make this a little bit more free-flowy as well. Now, out of interest, if I was to go down that route... so if I delete you and delete you... now, this is just pure curiosity right now. This is just pure curiosity. So if I go back to the singular roads... so that goes to there... you're there, and then we kind of back to normal in that kind of regards. Now, how much further back can I delete that and then delete you? And hopefully I can come out of this a lot easier. So roads. So is that our snap out? It goes onto that one. That's the one I'm looking for here. Right, and then this one Okay, just making sure I've got this right. Just making sure I've got this right. So if I went up like there, I'm just curious. That's all I am. It's just a little curious Seniac right now. Right, to there. Very good. And then this down to there. Now, obviously you get the overpass, but the problem is they can't make, then, the left turn. It becomes a little bit more difficult, right? But I could turn off this swoop round to kind of connect in and under, but I can't do it in every direction. That's the big issue that we do have. But there's nothing stopping me kind of creating connections on roads, but I'd like to know how do they then counteract that? That's what I would like to know. Now, if you're coming this way and you want to make the left turn, obvious thing to do is go down, left turn here, and then you've connected up and through, which is fine. These guys doing a left turn that way can just go straight down there, bam, left turn, so that solves it for them. These guys want to go this way, which is that highway leading down. Just do a left turn here, go through, sorted. I know it's awkward, but they do it. But these guys here have to kind of do a right down there to do a left to go through and straight over. So it puts a lot of pressure elsewhere, but not where you kind of want it to slightly be. Oh, it's all fun and games, boys. It's all fun and games right now. So if I'm completely honest with you, I'm not sure what the best variation of this would be. So if you want to take a screenshot of this, guys, and design a better junction for me on how we can squeeze it in. I like the idea with the slingshots. It could be that I just completely scrap the idea of the slingshots altogether and do something completely different. But if you've got any better designs that maybe we could utilize, let me know in the comment section down below, and post them to me on Twitter or in my Discord. Probably Discord's better. There's a link in the description for it. If you can take a screenshot of this right now and then you draw over this and redesign this junction, I'll be really interested to see what you guys can kind of come up with when it comes down to that. But yeah, it's an interesting one. It will change a lot of stuff and it will push a lot of traffic elsewhere. That's what it will pretty much do. Now, I don't think I am able to bulk up this road and still keep in the 2-lane going that way, because that puts a little pressure on what's going down here. I might just do that for now, just to try and alleviate and get multiple vehicles turning at once. But then again, we'll do it like that, so then we've got the 2 lanes, straight on and right, and a dedicated left turn only. So that should filter the traffic through a little bit more. But yeah, I'm really interested. It's interesting to see what you guys could come up with for that junction, and maybe together we can build a better road network and road system. Because it does put too much pressure on it all there, isn't it? I mean, I could just keep it really simple and have like slip roads up to it, but it just becomes a huge headache, doesn't it? I could do a clover leaf, becomes a huge headache. I could do a 4-way trumpet, which doesn't really work out that well, but again, it becomes a huge headache. Yeah, ideally, I want it as free flowy as we can potentially get it. So we still got the issues over here then. So we do have some slight issues here. And this is all leading down to the fact that we need multiple ways for vehicles to enter the roundabout. Whether it's straight on and right or doing a left, there's 2 lanes to kind of filter them out for when those issues do arise. Alright, not bad. Is this now cleared, by the way? I like to see what happens with this when it gets really busy. And what the traffic actually does and how it kind of diverts itself. Maybe this will fix it. Maybe just doing this fixes it, with them having to kind of bypass in different routes. Who knows? Who knows at this point? Now, we've got a huge demand for offices now just creeping up. Unemployment is very, very low, so I feel like I can't get any more kind of jobs in until I've got more residential moving in. Now, we do have a few little gaps over here in FarmTown that I can pretty much squeeze in. So I'm wondering, what's the cityscape here looking like? I'm just wondering if over here we do like a little bit of a medium density but bulkier So if I went like that, I want to see how big a building gets formed from that. I think I might have gone a little bit too big then. Right, let me do that, and let me do a 2. Oh, I think I was doing 2s, wasn't I? Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, we were doing 2s. Oh no, don't build like that. There we go. Build one big chunky boy. That's what I want. A big chunky boy. Alright, yeah, I remember now doing this, like this. But I am interested to see how big that building does become. It could be a little bit too big for our liking. Alright, get all those little nooks and crannies filled up. And it should be like these buildings over here. So the city skyline will stagger down and pop back up slightly, but it comes to like a little bit of a dead end anyway. So it's nice to kind of bulk a little bit more in. And see what we can kind of get down. Right, I'm kind of like drawn to keep coming back over here. I would like to see this in rush hour again. We gotta wait till like 5 PM, 6 PM in game time to see the rush hour kick in again. Right, then buildings built, yep. What's going on, boys? 38%. Oh, there we go. Do you know what? That might be okay. It is fairly big, but I want to see it compared to all the other buildings around it. Okay, maybe we are slightly off. I think these are the... Are these the higher density? I think they might be like a larger density building, aren't they? How does that look? Weirdly, I like the random larger building just placed there. Is that a different density? I can't tell if that's a different density. No, it is this density, isn't it? Oh, sorry. Am I looking at the right one? I don't even know anymore. Or is it when they upgrade? I don't even know anymore what that density is. Why is that building so different? It's not a 3, is it? Hold on. 1, 2. No. I've never seen those building styles before. I don't think anyway. Oh no, we have. They're over here. Okay, I do apologise. Low rent housing I might squeeze in here. So if I do a 2x3, 2x3. What did I say 2x3? It's not a 2x3 really. Like that for a little bit of low rent. I want to see how big they get built. I don't want to throw too much in it. It'll get a little bit tasty. Right, I think rush hour is now beginning to kick off. Now, if it turns out that this is okay, I might just keep it like this. I know it means that they've got to do a few little diversions here and there. But if it works out okay, we'll keep it like that. I just might make a better version of it. It's just the awkwardness of having to turn off to swoop down. I mean, I could do a slip road off there that bends round here and V's, and then a slip road off there that bends round and V's, because then you get them. It's like a backwards trumpet in both ways. It's hard to explain that, but that could also work really well. The twisting trumpet kind of system. Now this, sometimes even I don't want to talk about this. But I don't want to fix that until I've got this sorted. And I don't really want to attempt something here until I know the best method to go about doing it. Right, rush hour is now about to kick in, so it'll be quite interesting to see what happens. It might even push more vehicles to kind of use this bridge. I don't know. It will be interesting to see. Right, then buildings built. Oh, do you know what? They're not too bad. Those low rent housing ones. You put the low rent ones near the train tracks because of the noise pollution. That's just the unfortunateness. It's the less desirable buildings, unfortunately. Less desirability. Yeah, right. Is this rush hour kicking off yet? Right, it's definitely rush hour now. Okay, it's definitely rush hour. But I don't see huge amounts of traffic being an issue. I can see the traffic over here, but not so much over here. Now, is that because they're taking alternative routes and not all driving through this area? Could be. Could be. It could be. Anybody rented this building yet? No one's rented the building. How dare you? I might build a little village around here as well. Yeah, I mean, we're definitely in rush hour because you can see the traffic starting to build up as well. Right, are you going to go around the roundabout? You're holding everybody up. Or is this a case where I get rid of the roundabout so everyone takes their turn? No, I like the roundabout. I like it to be free-flowing. But yeah, we're definitely in rush hour, aren't we now? But this is the most free-flowing I've ever seen this. Right, weird question. Do I keep this? Do I keep it like that? I don't know if I should keep it like that, though. It's an interesting one, isn't it? It is an interesting one. Because that is quite calm. Yes, it's got issues elsewhere. Because we're pushing all the issues elsewhere. I don't know, boys. Truly and utterly, I do not know. The mystery of the Junction. We'll end it here anyway, boys. I hope you enjoyed this. We've kind of figured out some stuff, got some stuff sorted and done some expansions. But I will be quite interested to figure out what we can do with this. Now, I might leave it for another episode or two and then kind of implement it like in maybe 2 episodes time. We'll come back and implement this. Because I like to see this kind of simulate for another day and see what goes down. But I think we'll look at this next episode and we'll try and get some more residents moving in. Unemployment is slowly increasing, but we need to kind of go through and kind of look at this junction as well, which is going to need a little bit of a bulk in too, and just see what we can pretty much get up with. Right, hope you guys did enjoy this. If you did, smash that like button down below, and until next time, I'll see you all soon, so goodbye.